And for our last story, we shift our focus to Southern Africa, where debates around land reforms continue to make headlines. After a controversial land law in South Africa has triggered tensions with the United States, neighbouring Zimbabwe has begun compensating white farmers whose land was forcibly seized more than 20 years ago. While the Zimbabwean government says the move aims to boost ties with international lenders, it is speculated that it is actually linked to US President Donald Trump's reaction to South Africa's land reforms. Is Zimbabwe's decision really a Trump effect? Watch this report to know more.
Zimbabwe is paying millions of dollars to foreign white farmers whose land was forcibly seized under the country's controversial land reforms over 20 years ago. Zimbabwe will pay over $145 million to around 94 foreign farmers in the next 4 years, with $20 million paid out of the 2024 budget. Those who will be paid are from countries such as Switzerland, Denmark, Germany, the Netherlands and the former Yugoslavia. Zimbabwe has signed a bilateral investment protection treaty with these countries. The government says with this, it is honouring its commitments to compensate those who lost their lands after controversial land reforms. In 2000, Zimbabwe, under President Robert Mugabe, began seizing property from thousands of white farmers and giving it to blacks. The measure was meant to redress colonial-era land grabs. At independence in 1980, most of Zimbabwe's fertile land was owned by just 4,000 white farmers. However, the measures to address the issue were violent and aggressive. Critics also said the seized land was handed out to President Mugabe's political allies, and many of the black beneficiaries were not given the equipment or training to farm productively. This resulted in the collapse of Zimbabwe's agriculture-based economy and also ruined relations with the West. Cut to 2020. The government, under Mugabe's successor and incumbent president, Emmerson Mnangagwa, offered to return land to foreign and local farmers. It pledged to pay a total of $3.5 billion to the farmers driven off their land. So far, the government has begun paying only to the foreign farmers, though it says the move is aimed at normalizing relations with international creditors for ongoing debt clearance dialogues and improving Zimbabwe's investment climate. It is speculated that Zimbabwe's actions may be linked to the suspension of United States aid to South Africa over its land expropriation laws. US President Donald Trump has accused the South African government of confiscating land of white farmers as President Cyril Ramaphosa signed the land seizure law last month. Though Ramaphosa has clarified no land will be seized forcefully, US-South Africa tensions have reached an all-time high over the issue. Zimbabwe's President Mnangagwa has expressed intention to work with Trump. He has also backed Trump's decision to deport illegal immigrants, including around 500 Zimbabweans. While Trump's aid cuts don't affect Zimbabwe, it could be that the president does not want to be on his bad side. And, looking at what has been happening in neighbouring South Africa, he might want to dodge the bullet before it gets fired.
We're calling the show Vantage. We hope you like what we've put together for you. Touted as the minimum defense from that video. India's neighbours were the first to send the special edition of Vantage live from the White House throughout this week. Yes, Hindu Mandir we're on our way to Tel Aviv. Pretty measure, but it's also the perfect way to drive.
I don't think
Prime Minister of Bhutan, Sherin Tagwe. Welcome to
60% of the world's
office. Prime Minister Modi did the iron.
We were actually
How are you doing? How do you like? It's been 1 year since that meeting. Iron bars separate you from the outside. Out the vote effort. Trump had, it says, and at $4.3 trillion. 300 billion by 2030. That's what we need to tackle climate change.